I wanted to thank Brian, first of all, for offering to bring me here to meet with all of you. I truly appreciate it, Brian. I appreciate everybody making the time out of their busy schedules. If Brian, if you wanted to do anything first, say hi to everybody, and then I'll pick it up from there.
Hey, that sounds great. First of all, as Gary said, thank you all for joining us today. We're pretty excited about this new integration. It's our latest integration with Consign Pro. The idea is, from a high level view, Consign Pro is going to integrate with a tool called Live Assistant Pro that Gary over at LoyalShops has created. And that Live Assistant Pro product is going to integrate or talk to Facebook to make your Facebook Live sales a breeze. When we get started a little bit, I'll let Gary kind of take over here. And then at some point, we'll come back and I will show you how Consign Pro can pass all of the inventory that's in your Consign Pro database over to the Live Assistant Pro product. And there's three different ways that we can do that. And I'll go over all three of those when the time is right.
Thank you.
All right. So thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. I thought I'd do a couple of slides, but I actually really wanted to do sort of a live demo so that you can see it for real.
Not.
Please unmute yourself when it makes sense, but otherwise keep it muted if you're in a business environment. And
You too.
we will get started. I'm Gary Elsasser. I'm a co-founder of LoyalShops. We've been around in business for about 6 years. We do things from loyalty, email, texting, business texting around lives a lot, as well as doing these live services. Basically another opportunity besides the 20, 30 miles around your store to be able to reach everybody in the country. And we have 3 different live services. I'm going to mention all 3 and kind of show you a comparison chart so you can sort of understand where Live Assistant Pro lands in between them. And we'll go through those key features there. But like I said, I wanted to kind of do an actual real demo as well. When it comes to doing a live, there's a couple different parts to it. The obvious is you have to sell things, and your turns out that that's not all that easy to do when you're live, especially if you end up with not very many people or you're doing it by yourself. So we built all of our live services so you really can do it with just one person. If you have an additional person, you can actually do some additional things to drive some more sales, but generally everything that we offer as far as live selling, you can do with one single person. A second thing is entertaining. It doesn't seem obvious, but your vibe is your tribe, and the people who want to watch you can go watch a sitcom comedy on TV, and they can buy from something much more unpersonable like Amazon. So how do you get them to be wanting to be on a live with you? And that's key, is trying to figure out what that is about you or the host that you bring onto the live that makes it intriguing to those people. I tell people a little bit about my history so you kind of know where I come from. So I developed computers for 30 years. I helped start Bluetooth, for example, and ran notebook design teams for a couple decades. Anyways, I was traveling out of the country every single month because I had design teams around the world. And one day we found out my son had brain cancer, and my whole life stopped. I had to figure out how to not be traveling all the time and how to double down with my family. And my wife hadn't been working at the time, and so she had to shift from, she was doing actually charity work at the time, to figuring out how to bring in a lot more money because the bills were crazy. And so she started selling clothes, and I started figuring out how to change jobs, eventually starting LoyalShops so that I could end up working at home and be around my family more often. And so when she was selling clothes, she started doing selling on live, and she kept trying to recruit me into being the person to write down all of the details of what people were buying. And that's where my epiphany of, okay, I can help automate this, and where the very first version of our live sales bots came in, which is called Live Assistant. And so she was able to run with lives without me being there, and I was able to go and help build LoyalShops as a business into doing more and more things besides our initial live selling platform. So that's where it came from. And so one thing that she found was making people laugh and figuring out how to personalize the service around those people. She would learn their body styles of all of her top VIPs and customers. And when she would grab a garment, she just naturally started to stretch it in her hands. You could actually see while she's engaged in the camera, she'd be pulling the fabric a couple ways. And then when someone would buy it, if they were larger chested or they were larger hipped or something like that, she would say, all right, this is not going to fit you. It's the wrong size for you. And she would, and that of course would slow down that one sale option for that one person. But that person ended up loving the fact that she would tell them when it wouldn't fit them. And that of course avoids a return. But it also means that there's a very value added service, which is, I know when you should step up a size. I know when you should step down a size. I know when this will fit you, when it wasn't. And even though you can't learn that about all your customers, the fact that she was able to start learning it about 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 of them, remarkably, that ended up being, one of the things that people came back a bunch of times. So figuring out whatever that entertaining is, engaging, figuring out something besides what a website would offer is a value added. And then of course there's the sales management. If someone buys something or someone decides they don't want it and they want to pass it, that turns into something that you or someone else has to write down, and that's cost of doing the live, either by distracting you from selling and thus making your audience more bored, or hiring another person that's actually sitting there scribing all this stuff down. So our live solutions all handle these type of sales management features. Please mute your microphone.
We're trying to learn how to attach our your microphone.
Oh. All right. And so that sales management ends up being extremely helpful, because what we do through all of our live sales tools is when someone writes, you show an item, this is item 1, 2, 3. If they want it, they write sold 1, 2, 3, or any keyword you wish to use, want it, buy, etc. And then we can record that. If they end up want to pass it, they can pass 1, 2, 3 and let go of it. That's all done without you having to be involved, so that you can show it and then start moving on to the next item, and they're still buying the previous one. And so that allows things just to keep flowing, and you're not having to write down notes. Another thing about all of our tools, including Live Assistant Pro, is we record all of the text interactions of the whole live from the start to the end automatically. And you can watch that in real time. An assistant can watch it in real time. And also it's helpful after the live, instead of having to ever have to go back into a live and click and watch them, which is just brutal to do that every single day, because Facebook's really poor at fast forwarding and trying to let you actually find some key data. Instead, it's all just recorded, and you can search both in the live, during it, and after for any person's name, any number that was bought, any topic, whatever. It's all doable in real time. So those type of sales management things really allow you to run a live efficiently without, anyways, and get it done as fast as possible, so you keep everybody's attention and sell more items. You don't have to just sell 20, 30, 40 items. You can sell 100 items on a live. You can sell 150. I have a couple ladies that are just machine guns, and they can do a couple hundred items in a live and just get right through them. Another thing about our service here is we've worked with Brian and the team to be able to bring in all of your inventory from your full store, and Brian's going to go into some of those, all the different ways, and I'm going to show you at least one of those ways today, because I'm going to do a real live demo. And the ability of that is just be able to grab something off the rack and be able to take a barcode scanner and take a shot of it, and it brings it up. You see the price, you see the description. They get a copy of that into their live, so they can see it as well. And then you're able to buy that item, basically, have the customer buy that item. And that interaction goes really quite well, and it allows you to sell at a really good, fast clip, anything in the store. And it does not need to have a photograph. So if you do have an online store with Consign Pro, then we'll show the picture. If you don't worry about it. It's not required as part of the service. All right. I wanted to just take a few seconds. If anybody has not been doing live sales, I wanted to give you a couple tips while we're here. One is download an app called speedtest.net. test it in the store where you would do a presentation for a live, and make sure that it's got decent amount of bandwidth, and you can reach back to me and talk about it. But you really want, there's upload and download bandwidth. If you're watching Netflix, it's the download speed, and that's what most internet people market. The upload speed is what you care about though for lives, and you really need a minimum of 1.5 megabits per second, and you want to get something higher than that so you've got some playroom like 6 or above. So you just run that test right where you're live, and if it's really low, you got to talk about getting something better in your store, or moving to a different place near the access point, or getting an access point closer to you, wireless access point. Really key for getting a good quality live so that the color fidelity of the outfit shows well. You don't get a bunch of pixelization when you move, etc. So speedtest.net, it's from a company called Ookla, Ookla. Very helpful for making sure you're going to end up having a quality video. Another thing is to have some good lighting. It can be tough. If your store's well lit, you'll probably be just fine. Darker skin needs more lighting. And the other thing I sort of key point out is make sure that you're not in a dark part of your store. If you do, I showed here a ring light. The ring lights don't light up too much. They show up, basically your head down to your torso. I show a second light here that sort of light up you when you step back, and also show perhaps a mannequin. It's really helpful to have like a plus size and maybe a petite mannequin with a really nice outfit on it that you want to sell. If you show it, it's well lit, you can sell that outfit. Once it sells, swap in something else. And then that'll help you have additional, besides what you're showing, you're actually showing stuff off right behind you, and you'll have people try to buy it right off of you. So anyways, that really matters. And good lighting also impacts your live. If you move back half the distance, you lost 4 times the light. When you lose light, the camera has to refocus. It sends a lot more data. Your customers have a bad video experience. So something to keep in mind is to make sure in your store you got good lighting. Okay, we have 3 different live services. Live Assistant Pro is the one that's brand new from us, and we work with Consign Pro to integrate it directly into our service. Key things is it doesn't require a store, but we actually support Consign Pro built right into it. You just take your BK number, put it into our software, and bam, it can pull down your inventory list from your store. It has a bunch of abilities to sell other than lots of different ways. I don't need to go into that, but just realize you can sell one item, you can sell thousands of items. So if you end up having a bunch of obviously consign product in your stores, great, it can handle one-offs, no problem at all. If you end up putting in products that are value turnover items, like certain hats or Christmas items, something that you can buy hundreds, thousands of, you can put that in there as well, and we can sell as many, and we have an unlimited wait list too. So if a customer buys more than you have in stock, but that you can order them, you're going to have this list. You're going to be able to have that contact information, see if you can pull in more of those items, and then offer them an invoice after the live once those items are coming back in. So having that wait list really, really helps. It uses the barcodes off of your products using a barcode scanner. I don't recommend using the barcode scanner you've got with your register, because your register won't be functional during your lives. I've got recommendations for barcode scanners that start at $30. So it's not an additional, heavy expense to get a second one for your lives. All of the sales, once people start buying on a live, we watch the lives 24/7. So if someone buys a live off the live at 2:00 in the morning when all your equipment is turned off and you're sleeping, it'll still register that sale and you'll see it in the morning. All right. We also have a service that wraps around a Shopify store, and we've got a service that is our completely basic bot. Live Assistant Pro is going to be $25 a month, just to get that out of the way. So that's the key thing. In about 2 weeks, approximately, we're going to offer a feature to do auto invoicing, and it'll attach to a Square account. So you'll be able to attach to that Square account, and when you get done with the live, it will be able to send invoices through your Square account, and that money will come right into your Square account. We never touch it. There'll be a percent of sale for that auto invoicing part. So it's just $25 if you manually invoice. If you auto invoice, it'll be $25 or 0.75% of managed sales for the month. So if you do under about 3,300 in sales, it's just $25 a month. If you did 5,000 in sales, it turns into $37.50. If you do $10,000 in sales in a month, then it would be 75, 20,000 sales would be $300 for the subscription. I have one of my customers that was using Live Assistant during the COVID, and she had a consignment store, and it was closed down early in the COVID time. She found me one night at midnight and started doing Live Assistant and manual invoicing. So here's a consignment store. She actually has 2 stores. Consignment store, closed down, not making money. And within a month or 2, she was doing $20,000 a month with Live Assistant and manual invoicing. This lady is absolutely brilliant. She's very analytical. And one of the things she does is she tracks hours for all of her employees by task. So while she was bringing in $20,000 a month, which was fantastic compared to zero with her store closed, she was paying $3,000 a month in manual invoicing charges, just in hours for doing it. And so, she reached out to me, and we ended up having her attached with Reply Sold, and she went from 20,000 to 35,000. She now closed a year with us, and she did $1 million just over that with that tool. So going from manual invoicing to auto invoicing, it can be a really big difference to you. It allows you to go live more often. She goes live 2 or 3, 4 times a day, 7 days a week. But obviously it pays back in spades. I would say most of our consignment stores pull in anywhere from 7,000 or 8,000 to 30,000 a month with our tools. So it's absolutely possible to have a really solid additional channel of your business. But it's up to you, and it's obviously, it comes to being entertaining and figuring out how to bring people onto your store, but it can be quite an opportunity. So I just wanted to point that out, of what the opportunities are, and the idea of $150 for $10,000 in sales is kind of eclipsed when you think about bringing in $10,000 of sales. So I just wanted to bring that up to you. People get notified in the live when they win. Somebody buys. I'm going to show you that actually in a real live here. We have a registration page that we offer that helps capture the customer's information. If you've got your information in Consign Pro, you can import that into LoyalShops, name, email, phone number type of thing.
$9.99 a month.
When people are live, if they have registered before, if we recognize them, then you're going to be able to tell during the live that they've registered already. If they haven't, it's going to show you that. And so people can actually fill out that registration page during the live, or they can drop their email and password, email and zip code in the live. We don't recommend that. Registration page is safer for their privacy. But either one, if they do that, then it'll show you that they've registered even during the live. So you'll know you'll have their information. People ghosting, which is, I don't know why, but they go and watch a video and then they don't end up buying, is one of the key challenges of doing lives. And so being able to know that people are registered ends up being quite helpful, because you're going to know after 10, 15, during the live, you ask them to do it because they're not registered. They still don't do it. And 15 minutes after, you may want to just delete their cart, because then it'll auto hand to the next person. Okay, I'm going to take a second here. I've just been hitting you with a bunch of information. I want to stop and see if anybody's got any burning questions or things you want me to cover, and then I'll dive right back in, and I want to do a live demonstration, which I think will happen, and then we can do some Q&A after that. So any key questions that are burning in your mind that you want to make sure that I cover for you, hit me.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
You're talking about clothing, but what about if you have a furniture consignment store?
Sure. It's still a barcode. You're still barcoding it. It still brings up the product. When it comes to the biggest challenge with furniture was two key things, right? Or maybe even 3. You have to be able to walk around the store to show the large pieces of furniture. So you need to have really good solid Wi-Fi across the store. You can test that with that speedtest.net, do some test lives around. The second problem is making sure you've got some good lighting. It's challenging because do you have a really, really long extension cables to kind of carry around some lighting, or is it bright enough in your store to have a good live experience and show off your furniture pieces? The next is shipping, white glove service. The invoicing that we're doing is going to be, I call it auto invoicing. I should probably call it semi-auto invoicing. When you get done with the live, it doesn't just automatically send invoices. What it shows you is a list of their name, their email, their zip, their state, what they bought, how much it is. And then based on the number of items, you can set a default shipping amount, or you can do custom. My belief is you're probably going to end up leaving that shipping stuff information alone by default. You're going to probably make a phone call to the person. You're going to figure out white glove service or what type of LTL type of services you're going to deliver the item if it's not pickup. And then once you know if there is a shipping cost, you can put that shipping cost directly into that one item as custom. And then you can say, send an invoice.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
No problem at all. That was a really great question, by the way.
Hi, this is Brandy. Ignore my
Yes,
husband's name up there. I have a question about we currently use Live Assistant now.
Yes.
And the 24/7 lives,
Yes.
typically I run mine and then I stop it in the morning. Is there a way to stop it, or is this thing going to continuously run on every single live?
Well, you know what? It continuously runs on the lives. We haven't set a time for it to stop. In general, you rarely find customers watch really old lives. So the majority of sales come in obviously during the live. Then you have a burst for the next couple hours after the live. There's a burst overnight and in the morning, and then you'll have some additional ones day 2, 3, 4, and then it's pretty much over. So while we could set up an option to do that, Reply Sold does the same thing. It keeps watching lives if a sale comes in. If a web order comes into your web store, you still have to find that item if it's truly still available. So for that reason, we still let it watch the sale. But if it becomes an acute problem for you, it's not hard for us to put in a switch to cut a live off. It's just not been a request from customers with enough demand for us to do it. So, let's just play it by ear. If it really truly becomes an issue, then we can add a cutoff. But yeah, it just keeps watching because the opportunity of a sale is an opportunity for a sale most of the time. And so we let them flow. All right. So that's that. Good question. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Others? Yeah, no problem at all. Happy to help.
This is Sherry at Not Too Shabby. I have when it invoices, can it invoice just at specific times, or is it going to invoice everything after that particular live? We invoice only on Fridays. Our customers kind of like that. We already go live, and we go live every day. And so we invoice on Fridays. Is there a way for it to do that, or is it going to invoice show?
Yeah. We have two different views. If you have multiple people watching the live, turn the volumes off of those devices. And then it won't have this back and forth echoing. Okay, so the answer is we have two different views of sales history. There's a view by live, and there's a view by customer. So if you invoice by live, then you use that invoice by live version, and you can invoice all of them that are available, or you can manually choose who you want to send an invoice to. On the invoice by customer, as they buy through the week, it just keeps adding to that customer. So whenever you choose to invoice that customer, you can do so, and is showing you all the things that they've won over the period of time that you've waited since the last time you invoiced them. So the answer is yes, you can do it every 7 days if that's what makes sense to you. And then you send that invoice. If immediately 10 minutes later they buy another item, then it just starts as an item that hasn't been invoiced yet, and then it'll start building for the next period of time before you ship again. All right, so the answer is yes, you can do that. So it never automatically invoices. If you're a type of person who at the end of the live, you do wish to invoice everybody, you can go to sales history. You'll be able to look at all of the items. This is, of course, when auto invoicing is done in a couple of weeks, but you can look and see if everybody's got emails in there, if all of the shipping looks okay, or it's pickup. And if the details are right. And then if that's true, there's an invoice all at the button at the top. It'll invoice everything that's available to be invoiced. Otherwise, you could just go invoice, 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 and you can pick the ones you want. All right. So hopefully that answers that question.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Here's Live Assistant Pro. We have a dashboard where we show people the list of all your customers that you've imported into LoyalShops, email dashboard if you use emailing with us, and then texting. We have a tool to build registration pages for like basically a landing page that comes with the service as well. Live Assistant Pro, there's a first time guide here. If you choose that, it brings you to our instructions help. There's a bunch of help files for Live Assistant Pro, including a walkthrough video that basically walks through a whole live start to finish. There's an overview video as well that goes through all the different highlights. But this basically walks you through how to start a live. And I've got a version of this for Consign Pro as well that shows the loading part of a live dashboard. That's where you actually start to get ready for a live. Sales history, we talked about that. Viewing a live by live sale or by customer is this two options here. So you can choose based on how you invoice people. And then live commenting. And so this is where you actually can see an actual sale happen. This, of course, is my test account. So there's actually some sales here. Some nice things about live commenting is, you can just say, I want to know about, well, this is all the same item here, but, the XL version of it. So there's the XL, the 3XL, and the 2XL. If you want to look for just something that was 3XL, bam. So that ended up being quite helpful to actually be able to do it. There's a live style that's called TRL, which is Total Request Live. It's something you can throw in there, especially if you have an assistant that's helping you with the lives. And this live commenting page can run on a person's phone. And so you do with the TRL is either the whole show is a TRL, a Total Request Live, or maybe just the last 15, 20 minutes of it are. And what it is you tell people, hey, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to do a Total Request Live. And what it means is you're going to tell us the kind of things that you want me to show you. And if we can find them in the store, we're going to bring them forward and show them to you and you can buy them. What you say is I got this nice curated list of products I want to show you. So we'll do that for the first half an hour. But anytime during the next half an hour, just write request and then what item you want. Request brown turtleneck size large. Request, heels size 10 in red. Request. Then what you do is that that employee of yours perhaps writes in request. And as the live is going on, that word request is a dynamic search of all of the comments on the live. So as people are saying, I want that turtleneck sweater, it's going to show you that Jane Doe wants a turtleneck sweater in size large in brown. That list keeps building as she's walking around the store. So she goes and grabs the 4 or 5 things that are on the list and puts them on the rack for the TRL part of the live. And then by the time she gets done with that, the list is building still. And she goes and grabs the other things. And so that's a way for them to have a real-time wish list from all your customers that is being worked on in the background while you're selling the stuff that just came in today. And so the nice things about that TRL is the customers start feeling like they're more interactive in the sale besides just watching for the next thing to show up like QVC. The next thing is you're starting to get an idea of your online customers, what they want. And that, if you see enough of that kind of thing that surprises you of what they're asking for you, perhaps you're going to change your curation for your next live. And maybe you're going to adjust for what you bring into the store based on learning a lot more about what your customers are asking for. So you don't have to do it every live, but it ends up being a really interesting twist to a live in a way that if you have an extra person around to drive some additional dollars, because if they ask for it and then you show it, it's even a better chance of them buying it or someone else grabbing it. It ends up being a pretty darn cool experience. So that's just a kind of cool add-on to what you can do with live commenting, since it truly is live, and helps you follow along all of the comments during the live, which can be really, really handy because occasionally Facebook does something crazy like not show you comments. So here's a way for you to see them in our software if you don't see them actually on the live itself. It happens on occasion. So that's live commenting, sales history, settings. right here at the top is Visual Horizons Consign Pro. This is where you put in your BK number. And once you put that in there, we can pull your inventory. Every time you start a live, we do a little live comment. You can tailor this for your own personality. Registration page. We build the default one for you, but I can help you customize it to your brand. These are the keywords. Sold, mine, and claim are the 3 default ones. You can put a branding one in there. I kind of recommend that you actually do. Leave sold, because that's the default one people use, but it doesn't hurt to put in something that's personalized to your company, or it's want, bling, or something like that. If you're a jewelry company, something cute, short, easy to spell, and that becomes sold number, bling number, bling number for actually buying things. We respond in 3 different ways. The first person who claims gets one claim response, the second person a different response, the third person gets a different one, and then it rotates. It kind of adds some personality to the bot, makes it not look like spam to Facebook, and you can personalize that. So we've got people who have a complete Spanish speaking audience, and they translate this all into Spanish for their customer set. Anyways, you can modify all those type of settings here. And there's additional ones down here for like registration. If you want to have them point to your Facebook page to like it, you can have a code word like, return policy for doing that, time zone.
Integration between Consign Pro and Live Assistant Pro does rely, as Gary mentioned, on that having that BK ID that Gary talked about. And for those of you that aren't familiar with that terminology, if you go to your maintain store screen in Consign Pro, in the bottom center, you'll see something called the Internet Store ID. And in that box, there should be an identifier that starts with the letters B and then K. And that is the identifier that you'll be using in Live Assistant Pro to connect Consign Pro with this dashboard. So I just want to let everybody know where that was. I'll cover that in a few minutes when I get to kind of show a little bit about the Consign Pro integration.
Excellent. Thanks, Brian. Okay, so I've got a test store here, and it's really actually huge. So we're going to let it start rolling here to bring in inventory. You'll actually see it in real time here. And we have a pop-up here that says the inventory file that we found in Consign Pro is old. Do you still want to import this? So this is a warning to you that maybe you should bring in a new inventory, and Brian's going to show you how to do that. We're going to accept this one. And so here it is, just pulling that data directly in so that you're going to be able to sell this during your live and be able to barcode your barcode tags. So it includes the product description, it includes the quantity, it includes the price, and at this point in time, a simpler claim number. I think in a follow-on interaction, we're going to make it probably so these claim numbers are even simpler and lower end numbers. But as this is loading here, what you end up doing is you need 2 devices. You need a device that is going to run your live itself, which is usually your phone, because they often have the highest quality cameras on them, and it's easy to sort of put at your face level or a little bit higher with maybe a ring light. And so you run the live off the phone, and then you usually have a second device, which can be another phone or probably a tablet, or it can be a computer. And you want to probably get that computer as close to your eye line as you can. Don't have the computer back at a register and you're somewhere else, because it shows you real information. You need to be able to see when it pops up, so you can see the name of the product and the price faster than your customers are going to see it, so that you can start telling them about it immediately, other than just staring at the garment or whatever item it happens to be. And so helpful, maybe, there's rolling carts for on online and internet, etc., that are basically so you could stand and be able to use a computer. That ends up being a really helpful tool, because then you can put it kind of next to you, and now your notebook and your phone are not terribly far off of your line of vision. It reminds me of something I actually wanted to bring up as well. When people are starting a live, the tendency of new live people, and those even that aren't, is that, okay, when I first go on the live, no one's going to be on yet. I just started. So maybe I've got time to run over there and grab some more things. And maybe I've got time to do my hair or makeup, or send a text. We do automated text when you start your live, so you don't have to do this, but your head's down And people go, they don't think about it because they're not worried about it because their normal customers don't show up for a minute or 2 or 3, and then they really start selling. The problem with that is there's this thing called the hot minute, and it really comes down to even the really hot 10 seconds. You're not just trying to sell to the customers you have now on your live. You're trying to sell to the customers that even the next day are flipping through their news feeds. And when we're lucky, Facebook decides to show your live to someone completely new that they think might like your live. And when they flip through to it, it's going to start at the beginning of the live. And if you're not in frame and it's just showing a bookcase in the background, if your camera's reversed and it shows your logo backwards, if you're doing your hair or whatever, doing some last minute notes or getting ready for the live, then they're just going to keep flipping by you. So the really key thing, particularly in the immediate, when you hit live, it goes 3, 2, 1. You need to be in the camera thinking of how you're going to engage with those customers. And you're not engaging with your current customers. You're engaging with a new potential customer. Hey there, really great to see you. We do live shopping here. We're a vintage consignment store where we bring in beautiful products that are gently loved at a price you can afford. Who are you? Why are you? And then how do they sell? Is it live or is it not? Hey, if you see a red live, I'm live. If not, you won't see that. And it's okay. You can still claim. Those type of things are important so that person flipping through knows who they are, why you are, how to find you again, because they've heard your name if you really use it. And then they know how to buy, and then they can get engaged in your live. So that hot minute really matters. I wanted to bring that up because we're about to start a live. There's this continue with Facebook button. What it needs to do is check and see what rights you have to get to a business page. Our software runs off a business page. If you have a group, you can share to that group. If you have personal pages, you can share to that. If you have multiple business pages, you can share to those once the live start. But those need to actually start first. And then I'm going to hit continue with Facebook. It's going to go, continue as me. And then I'm going to pick one of my business pages.
If you want, Gary, I can take this time and show the integration between Consign Pro and how the data gets passed over.
Perfect.
Great. Talked a few minutes ago about that BKID and that being kind of the key to linking Consign Pro with the Live Assistant Pro product. And as I showed you, or as I explained, down here at the bottom of your maintained store screen, everybody should have an internet store ID already. It should be plugged into that box. This controls things like your online store, your database backup, my resale web. Really, anytime Consign Pro talks to the internet or any integration, we kind of go through that internet store ID. So you'll need that as you're setting up your connection between Consign Pro and the Live Assistant Pro product. Just good to know where that is. If your box is blank for any reason, just email Brian at consignpro.com. I'll get you an internet store ID, but it shouldn't be. So the integration with Consign Pro could not be simpler. It's above the main menu. I'm sorry, the integration with Live Assistant Pro couldn't be simpler. It's above here at the main menu. We click on Internet. And then right down in this list in version 11.16, which anybody can download right now, it's on our update page. If you're on the support plan, that's yours. Go to our update page at consignpro.com. Install 11.16, you'll see build LoyalShops CSV, comma separated value file that's going to pass over to LoyalShops. I'm going to click on that. Don't blink, because if you blink, you might miss this. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to give you an hourglass, and it's going to tell you very quickly 24,203 items were successfully uploaded to your LoyalShops account. Okay. And I'm going to click OK. And guess what? That's it. Consign Pro just took all of your available inventory and passed that over to the tool, the Live Assistant Pro. When you saw Gary bring in that file and that little bar jumped across the screen, it is reading from the file that was just transmitted from Consign Pro over to LoyalShops server. So that's it. If you don't have an online store, you don't need one. As Gary said, just click Internet, build LoyalShops CSV, and the data will end up over in the LoyalShops kingdom, their servers. They'll be able to then pull it into the dashboard using the Live Assistant Pro product. The integration that we've built is completely free if you have an online store with us. If you don't have an online store with us, you can buy this integration. We've priced it really affordably. It's $39 one time. That's it. It's over on our services page, online services at consignpro.com. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, LoyalShops integration, $39. Once you buy it, it's yours for life. That's it. Okay. Again, if you have an online store with us, it's included. You do not need to buy it. But if you don't have one and you want to use it, just click on that link. You'll be able to add it to your cart and be able to purchase it. And that's, I think, everything that I kind of have to show you. We have kind of two integrations I talk about. Gary kind of touched on it a little bit. We've got the integration that starts up here, Build LoyalShops CSV. If you've already got an online store with us and you're going to be doing lives with the items that are in your online store, then you do not need to do this part right here. You'll just go into the Live Assistant Pro dashboard. You'll put in your BK ID and their system will pull from the online store inventory automatically. If you don't have an online store with us and you still want to use it, Build LoyalShops CSV is the way to go from the internet menu. Or maybe your online store has 200 items in it and your real store has 2,000 items in it. And you're not sure whether you're going to be doing a live with something that's actually in your online store. If you'd rather be safe than sorry, use this integration here where you click Build LoyalShops CSV and push the data over to LoyalShops using that tool. That'll make sure all 2,000 items in your brick and mortar those barcodes become available immediately when you do your live sale through Live Assistant Pro. So that's it. It's a very simplistic integration. It's priced very affordably. It's even free if you've got an online store with us. If you want to turn this on and you've got an online store with us, you're going to need a password. Just send me a quick email note, brian@consignpro.com. Hey, Brian, I've got an online store with you. What's the password for the Build LoyalShops CSV? And I'll shoot that back to you right away. Otherwise, you don't need a password if you're going to be just doing the online store integration. You just go to the Live Assistant Pro product, put in your BK number, and it will pull the inventory that's sitting in your online store. Keeping in mind that if the item isn't in your online store, it's not going to be available to you during the live. Any questions about the Consign Pro integration, pushing data over to the LoyalShops product?
Maybe I missed that information, but do you have to upload, does it automatically upload any new inventory that you get every day?
Yeah, great question. This is a one-time push over to LoyalShops. So if I push on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. for my noontime live that I'm going to be doing, it's just the inventory that's as of 9 a.m. that morning. If you're going to be doing a live later in the week, you'll want to push it again. Okay. Next week, you'll want to push it again. So anytime you want to make sure you have your most current inventory before you do your live, just push it using this Build LoyalShops CSV. Push it every time. Okay. That'll make sure your inventory matches what's in your Consign Pro database, matches what's available to you during the live. Great question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
The great thing is Brian made it really, really quick to, you hit that button and it's done in 20, 30 seconds. So you just basically hit that button, and by the time you get over to LoyalShops to hit Live Dashboard, it'll be loading that file up with your new update. And so I don't think it'll be much of a trouble. You just have to remember to do it. If you're doing lives every couple days, then we're going to show you that the CSV that we're loading up is old. And then you'll go, oh yeah, I forgot. You pop back into Consign Pro, hit that, download the inventory button, and then just refresh, and we'll grab that new file.
So with the Consign Pro, because I have items that are on my Consign Pro store and then items that are not, if it sells via LoyalShops, does it take it off of the Consign Pro store too?
Great question. The very first iteration of this integration, it's not going to do that for you. You're going to bring that item, much like when you sell that item in your online store. If you sell that item during a Facebook Live, you're going to be notified of that. Bring the item through our Make Sale screen, just like you do with the online store. If you sell something sells in the online store, you bring it through that Make Sale screen. That would then take it off the online store automatically for you. Our second iteration of this integration, we're going to actually pick up the items that have been sold during the live, and we're going to apply those to Consign Pro automatically so that you don't need to bring those through the Make Sale screen.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a schedule for that yet, but both Brian and I are open to adding that additional functionality.
Yeah. Right now, it's just bringing those item numbers through make sale. That completes the loop.
All right, great question. Thank you for that. All right. Okay, what I've got is I just started a live over here, and it's, I'm on my Gary Elsasser LoyalShops business page. I've got an option here to start automatically. You click that, and then basically Live Assistant Pro will just sit there and wait for your live to start. And once it starts, it automatically takes over and starts connecting. And otherwise, you can just choose it when it shows up here. And it keeps looking for other lives that start on that same page. So I'm going to click on that and just start it. And now we're ready to start selling. There's a blue bar down here at the bottom. And this is actually a real-time list of comments. So we did this because over the 6 years, I don't know why, but there just seems like there's times and periods of time when Facebook decides that on your actual live phone that they don't show you the comments. So you go live and maybe you get 20, 30, 40 people on your live and you can't see them talking to you. And it's like, do I hang up on these people when I've got 40 people and hope they all come back, or what? And so we built this little blue bar that you can sort of just slide up and kind of split your screen between the live selling part and seeing what the actual customers are saying back to you. So that comes in quite handy. We'll leave that there. I downloaded that test inventory. I've got some barcodes that are representative of those items. And so what I'll do is bring in a product. So I just barcoded that item on the piece of clothing. It's item number 45. It's shoes for $15.75. And in the live itself, it actually is showing that as well. I'm going to, you can actually see it down here that I actually got that same quote. Let's see, maybe I'm gonna try to blow this up for you a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, so Live Assistant Pro, the red line around this shows you that you're currently live, how many items are actually in the cart and how many dollars are associated with that. This is the little barcode area. If I click outside of this area, you get a red box. And then when I click anywhere back in this window, the red box goes away. The reason for that is this barcode looks just like a keyboard to computers or phones or tablets. And if you happen to be on a different app, when you barcode, it sends the barcode to the other place. So whenever you click somewhere out, it does that red bar so that when you go barcode and nothing happens, you go, oh, why is there a red box? Click back in here. Now I can barcode. So over here on my other screen, I'm going to write sold 45. I'm going to buy that item. And there it is. So number one, sold to Gary, 45 shoes. And now there's 0 left of this item. And it responded back into the live. When I barcoded it, it gave me the item number is 45, it's shoes, and to buy it, you reply sold 45. And so then I bought it, and it shows me here that Gary Elsasser LoyalShops, 45 is yours, the shoes, wop wop. All right, so that's a quick thing. Yeah, go ahead, you have a question?
So yeah, I noticed that nice shopping bag that's there. Is that replaced by a photo of the item, or if they're using an online store and a photo is available, is that where the photo goes?
Exactly right.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yep. So an online store, the picture will show up there. Absolutely. The other thing I wanted you to notice is to see this red @ and the red Z. If someone's not registered with you, then it's going to show you that red @ sign if we don't have their email address. If we don't have their zip code, it'll show you that red Z. And if they register during the live, those red @ and Z's go away. So you actually know, you can actually say, hey, Gary, you need to register. And when they do it, it lets you know that they did that. So go on and grab another item, another pair of shoes, and sold 58. And sold 93. I'm going to do a pass on 45 to remove it because I decided I didn't want it. All right. So you saw that 45 went away because it was passed. And it shows down here that Gary Elsasser has passed on item 45. All right. If someone else was on the wait list, as soon as one person that's at the top passes it, it's handed to the next person in the list automatically. They get a little lucky clover, and it shows, hey, congrats, you got this item. And so it just passes it on. It'll do that during the live. It'll do it after as well to people that you delete the stuff out of their cart or they pass during the live. All right, so that's that. Let me jump to. So this is fruit snacks. There's a whole bunch of them. And so another thing you can do is maybe your kids have Girl Scout cookies or stuff like that. You can put a bunch of them in your store and sell them live for her too. Really crank her up. You never know. That same lady who I told you the story about was so crazy. She was using Reply Sold with her store, and it's of course attached to the business account. And she decided to buy a different house, and she still had access to Live Assistant, just like this Live Assistant Pro. And one day I see a live going on, and she's in a house. Turns out it was her house. She's walking around with a phone, and she's selling all the items out of her house on her Facebook Live on her business page. She invoiced right through her own personal PayPal account, but I thought that was incredibly creative of her to just go live and, her store, I guess, her house. So why not do it? But you never know. But anyways, so sold 16. and buy a bunch of fruit snacks. So what I just did was I bought 10 of them.
That's kind of an interesting point, Gary. In the Consign Pro program, our customers are familiar with these vendor items where you have a count of how many you have available. That count is of course passed over to your live, so that the Live Assistant Pro knows how many of these things you have. So your vendor items will work well with this tool.
Yeah, vendor, that's great work. Thank you, appreciate it, Brian. So the idea here is that if you don't have something that's 9,000, but you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and 20 people claim on it, then it'll give the 5 people the items, and then it'll put the other 15 on a wait list. If you then realize that the inventory was wrong because you put it in wrong, perhaps in Consign Pro, it happens on occasion. You can actually click here and add a incremental amount. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I probably shouldn't have bought 10 of them. A little bit crazy there with my list. Anyways, you get the idea. These are all first place, but if there was someone else buying additional one, it shows up as a red second and a silver third place and beyond. So that gives you an idea of how that's working. Okay.
Gary, I got a question via email that just came in. How long do customers have to pass or change their mind?
Well, generally up until they invoice. If they buy it during the live and they decide they want to pass it, they can jump back onto the posted live and write pass, we're still watching, and they can pass it at that time. And if they change their mind and get back on the live, they can buy something too. So we're still, the live is actually being ran out of the browser. But as soon as you leave this page, our servers take over and keep monitoring the lives for additional sales and passes. Great question.
Gary, I got a question that came in via email. Do we get notified of the sale via email too, or do we check through the Live Assistant Pro dashboard? Where are the how did the notifications come?
Currently, you just check through the live dashboard and you'll see that the sales number is incremented. We've got a plan to drop in an icon. I'm open to the conversation of pinging the person for sales, but if your store has any amount of volume, the notifications become overwhelming. So I haven't kind of figured out, besides putting an indicator right here on this main screen and one up here on the top title bar of our software to show that there's incremental sales since last time you were here. We do this right now. This is our texting inbox. So there's been 140 texts back to me on my texting service since the last time I clicked on my texting inbox. And we'll probably do the exact same thing for sales. We'll just show that there's been incremental ones, and we'll show you here so that you can know to dive in. But I worry about if we're going to text you every time a sale comes in, it's going to get out of control, annoying. But yeah,
would an email be more easier to react to?
Emails are easy to do. It just I think they become a sea of bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. Okay.
When do you curtail them?
Right.
It's only maybe we only do it once every half an hour or an hour and show you a summary. So
yeah.
There has to be a conversation about how do you not send somebody 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 emails in an hour, because pretty soon you're just going to get fatigued by notifications.
Can you show again where the sales history is within the Live Assistant Pro tool so we can see what just got sold?
So under Live Assistant Pro is sales history.
Okay.
And when you click there, it takes you to a summary of all of the lives, unless you're in customer view, then it just shows you it by customer. Live Assistant Pro, there's a sales history tab that takes you here. These are all individual lives. So it gives you the date and time to your time zone. And when you click anywhere in this area, it opens up that live. So this is the one we just had. Shows the fruit snacks and the shoes. I can go down to, here's one that's, let me see if I can find one that I've got stuff on. Yeah. This one here I've marked as, so this is little tank tops, 36 bucks.
How do we see the buyer in there? Where's our buyer information?
It's right here.
Oh, I got it.
This is the actual buyer name.
Got it.
I was buying as the page, so
yeah, I understand.
It's my name.
Yeah.
I'm actually on this page there's my name, but it actually is the page name.
Yep.
But it'll actually be it'll be the buyer's name, it'll be their email, it'll be their zip.
Gotcha. Is that just for registered buyers, or is that for everybody?
Well, we need their information somehow, otherwise we won't have it. So the name is pulled by Facebook, so that'll be there. And then if they're already in your database with LoyalShops, then we'll pull up the email, and if we have it, the zip. You can enter them manually, and you can tell, as I said during the live, that you don't have them, and if they actually put them in, it'll show you that they do have them, and then it'll show up in your sales history. If we have the zip code, it also puts in the state automatically, and that helps with trying to decide if you need to add incremental shipping costs without having to go do a lookup on zip code. If it's Alaska or Puerto Rico or something like that, it's going to be a very different expense for the person that's selling furniture that we had that conversation earlier, right?
Right.
So anyways, that's what that's there for. And so either you get it from them during the live, it's already there, or you add it after the fact because you've got it in some other format. And that's how that works. Once we have the auto invoicing, you'll be able to actually send it to that email address, or you'll be able to change it. And if they're not getting the email for some reason, we're going to give you the link to the invoice, so you'll be able to send the invoice to them through an alternative means like Facebook Messenger, etc.
What's Invoice Ready ?
So if for people who are manually invoicing, they do a live, the live ends, and then they're ready. Okay, is the invoice ready? Yep. Okay, so as soon as it's done, you flip that because you just sent the invoice, and now it shows invoice sent. The reason for this is that if they go back on your live 10 minutes later and buy again, you've sent them an invoice for these items, but not the next one they just claimed. So this will actually increment down so that these are all under invoice sent, and there'll be a new section of invoice ready that hasn't basically been sent yet.
Could we jump over to your email and see that invoice?
Yeah, we're not offering auto invoicing yet for about another 2
Okay.
weeks. So
Got
for
it,
now,
got
you're
it.
at this
Okay.
point in time with Live Assistant Pro, you're manually invoicing through however method you want.
Okay.
In a few weeks, we'll offer that auto invoicing. We're almost done with it, with that
Gotcha.
integration.
Okay.
And,
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We wanted to get Live Assistant Pro out, and then the next thing was to do Square, and then after that, we'll add PayPal. I interact with a ton of retailers, and those that use, a lot of smaller retailers that actually need to use Square and PayPal. PayPal has a nasty tendency to just decide to hold on to people's money for a period of time. You grew too fast. We're not sure if this is real, so we're going to hold on to your money for a week or two. And that's really, really uncomfortable for a retailer to have them try to do that. The second thing is they do chargebacks. And so you get some abusive customers and you end up with a bunch of chargeback problems. Square seems to not do those chargebacks unless there's a really good reason for it, and they don't hold people's money. So we did Square as the first integration because it just seems more small business friendly.
Are people, maybe you have some experience in this area, are people doing their live sales while their store is open, or is this an after hours or before hours type of activity typically?
Both. Tons of sales happen during the lives, during the business day. So while they've got employees there, they're going live. Those that do, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 in sales a month are doing a couple lives during the day. They usually bring in some hosts and they do lives once or twice on the weekend, if not twice a day on the weekends. And then you find that if you do one at night, and there's plenty of customers that we have that do them at nights, it's a whole nother, it's a slightly different audience. And so you can actually bring it in then too. As many of you don't have to deal with, but Brian knows, is there's occasions where we're making changes to our software that needs to be done when someone's not live, because there's a chance you'll break something while they're live and selling. And so we have, we generally work during the day. You're working during the day. So we're working on the engine while you're using it as a tool. And we try to make sure we don't do anything, poor, but occasionally something happens, so we fix it in real time. Yeah, it happens. But when we really know we're going to do something that we know is going to break it, or it's a real big upgrade, we'll wait till the evening. And we're looking at all of our live tables to see who's still live. And I've just got a couple customers that go live at midnight. they go live, and one of them I just said, "You're just killing me. I need to have a couple days a week where you're not live, because I'm either going to potentially break your live, or I just can't stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning when you finally get off your lives." But they go, "Hey, Gary, everybody goes live during the day. There's a bunch of insomniacs out there. We're selling to all the insomniacs that are sitting in bed scrolling by. They show a lot. They see live sales. We get all kinds of customers that you'd never get otherwise. So your vibe's your tribe." I'll give you another crazy example. There was a group that my wife knew them. She wasn't great friends with them, but she knew them. And it was a husband and wife team. And I say that your vibe's your tribe, but this couple appeared, at least on lives and in person, as a train wreck, as a literal train wreck. They looked like they were intoxicated on something. And he looked like a heavy metal rocker, and she looked like a groupie, I guess. They just, bandanas and a little bit dazed and confused. And you just go, what is going on here? And they'd go on and they sell every single day and night. And they were doing $150,000 to $200,000 a month. And it made your head scratch, because it just was this train wreck, but people came to watch the train crash. And while they're there, they're buying. And so regardless of what you come up with, what time of night you decide to buy, what what game you come up with that makes people have fun, that doesn't redundantly say things in the live, by the way, or look too much like gambling, because Facebook doesn't like that stuff. But you find these type of things and you end up gathering a large gathering of people that buy, and your sales can explode. So I'd say a lot of it's during the day, but my biggest sales period is 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday night. We have the most lives at that period of time. It starts dying down. Honestly, it doesn't really start dying down until about 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I still got 7, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 lives going daily at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome. So there's no black and white answer. And it's, when school starts, you go, okay, the parents are going to be stuck in a line for 20, 30 minutes. And I'd have my retailers go live right in that point in time with a really quick, fast live, knowing that the moms are stuck in line and they're just waiting and they're flipping through and they're watching and they'll buy something while they're sitting there. So again, know your audience, try things out, don't just give it, but you have to have some consistency, because if you show up and you win somebody, they're going to want to have you come back again in a time that they have the time available. Because as you move it around in time, you end up hitting people that have different shifts, different, kids are here versus kids are not here. I'm available versus I'm not. I work during the day, I'm available at nighttime. Maybe I can't shop but I'm sitting at bed at 9 o'clock doing nothing before I go to sleep. 10 o'clock, great time to sell me something. Okay, enough on that. Okay, questions?
Quick clarification.
Yes.
Sorry. So LoyalShops will give you the item number, correct? You scan it. They'll give you a normal item number, like, under 100, or because my Consign Pro barcodes are, 6,000 something and then plus,
Yeah.
So it'll give us a normal one. And then I guess we would have to write that number on the back of the tag per se, so that one's item number 45. Is that the way it's going to pan out?
You know what? It's a really great point. And what right now is, just as it stays right now it starts at 1 and increments. So if you've got 3,000 items total, then there'll be 3,000 numbers. If you end up with, a smattering of items that are 15, 20,000 out because of all the inventory you've got, it'll crunch that down to just the number of items you've got. We plan on doing an upgrade where it will start at just low numbers, simple super numbers, and we'll just do a running change to that, in the next couple of weeks to a month. It's not in there yet. So it basically starts at 1 and goes up, but it skips any spaces you have. Second is it'll have the barcode in the sales history along with the number. We've been making some tweaks this last week and it's dropped off, but it'll be right here. The barcode along with the claim number will both show in your sales history.
But will it be the same barcode that's in Consign Pro? I guess that's where or will it be something different?
It'll be the same one that's in Consign Pro.
So then,
no.
Like the same item number?
The claim number will be simpler. We'll give you the barcode as well. You'll have both.
And the barcode is the item number from Consign Pro, so you'll see both.
Oh, you'll see both.
Okay, so the item number from Consign Pro, if I have item number 555,000, it's not going to give me that.
Correct. No, it'll give
me a simple number that I can say, and then I'll just put that on the back of the corresponding tag, so I would know which items to pull.
Yeah, it's up to you. Your sales history is going to give you the claim item number and that barcode.
Okay.
So you'll have both. You won't have to write it on the back of the tag unless you want to. You certainly can.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yep.
I'm sorry. On invoicing, if we were self-invoicing now, but if in the future, if you invoice, where does it come in that we would add shipping and or loyalty discounts that we use now?
Sure. There is this area here is going to change slightly. It's going to end up being little lights that show red if there's like no email, or red if there was an error sending the invoice, like it's a bad email or something like that. And when you send, it'll give you a little status here, including invoices sent and invoice paid will all show up here. Next to this will be a shipping. By default, there's a setup page that will allow you to say, if it's one item, shipping is this. If it's two items, shipping is this. If it's three items, it's shipping this. If it's this amount of money or over for the order, shipping it can be free. And then there'll be an area for credit. And so when you click on that area, you'll be able to put in credit. You'll be able to put in, by default, it'll say 3 items equals $10 of shipping, if that's what you've put for 3 items. And then if you click on that, you can customize that because they're in Puerto Rico or Alaska. Or if it's pickup, of course, there won't be shipping at all. So that'll all be in this area right here that's not there because we're not doing invoicing yet, but that's what's coming. If that answers your question. Okay. All right, what else?
We got them all.
Okay,
No, there's one more question.
of course.
Yes. So will this give the shopper in any way access to the whole inventory? Like, let's say that a person says, oh, I like that 1X black top. Do you have more? Can they then go through somehow and access our inventory, or is it only when we have used our barcode scanner to connect it with that? Does that make sense or not?
It makes perfect sense. And currently the only things that are available for sale are the items that you've scanned.
Okay.
So they wouldn't have a way to be cruising during the live for additional items. I'll do some brainstorming with Brian to figure out any other ways to be able to send people back in if you have an online store with Consign Pro. I'm open to ways of
Could
tying
they?
the two experiences better together.
Is there putting their? You had a section where they could put the default reply messages, and there were like 3 or 4 standard replies. Could they, if they wanted to, put the link to their online store in each of those?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
interested in seeing more from us, and then the link to your online store. And then that would appear right in the message history on Facebook, right?
Yes.
The commenting on
you can,
Facebook would
you
include
can
those.
make it a, store be a word that brings back a paragraph about your store, return policy, or as you just did, what we often do is like in the third claim response, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with different responses that are, your personality. The third response I often put in there the registration information. If you're new, register, please. So it's like you just won. If you're new, register. And what that does is, since it's not every response, if you sell, you show 100 items, and people buy 100 items, then 30 times during the live your registrations popped up. So you could do, if you wanted your store address in there, you could put it in one of those 3,
right,
and do the registration in one of those 3, and that information is just getting trickled through the live, so it's nowhere too far away before someone sees it again. But it's not just in your face, inundating you every single time.
Yep. Spaces it out.
Exactly right. Yep. So it works out really quite well that way. Great question. All right, what else?
I get the impression that a tool like this is one of those things that, once you get into it and you start trying it, then you kind of learn it, like many things in life, right? It's one thing to talk about, but sometimes you just got to jump in with both feet, and you're going to make some mistakes, and you're going to do some things a little wrong, and you'll just get better and better at it with each successive live.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No one's perfect the first time. I have test pages. I've got 6 or 7, and so you can reach out to me. You can friend me. I'll add you as an editor to one of my test pages. You can go live on a test page without your customers. Try the tool out so you get comfortable, so that when you actually really go live with your customers, the tool's not a challenge and you just focus on entertaining and selling to your customers. So happy to do that.
What I'm going to
So
do after probably tomorrow, each of you will see from me an email note with maybe some demonstration videos. Perhaps there will be a link even to this if you want a refresher as to what we went through tonight, or some demo videos that Gary may have in his library that I can share with you as well.
Yeah, I've got an overview video of Live Assistant Pro that just kind of goes through every single feature. I wanted to show it to you real and do Q&A with you, because that's a lot more interactive and useful for your time versus just slideware. But I've got slideware on Live Assistant Pro on our store, and goes into a lot more details, and has a list of barcode scanners in our help files under Reply Sold, or under Live Assistant Pro as well. There's a $30 one that works really quite well, and then there's a one that works fantastic that's about $90, etc. So yeah, happy to do that. I'm on the Consign Pro owners group. Thank you very much, Brian. So feel free to ask me questions there as well. I'll be happy just to jump in.
He's referring to our Facebook group that's called Consign Pro Shop Owners. If you're not a member of it, and some of you may not be, just jump into Facebook, hit that search box up top, and type in Consign Pro Shop Owners. There's about 1,000 people just like you that own Consign Pro and own a store that talk about everything from software to how to set up a dressing room to how to prevent theft, and all topics are covered. My guess is most of you are already members, but if you're not, please join us.
Yeah. So that's also a good place to when you get off this live, when you have questions, you can drop it there. Tag me or tag LoyalShops, or Brian will tag me when he sees it, and I'll jump in, etc. I'm happy to help anyway. Also, we have a LoyalShops user group as well, and I'll put in somewhere in here. I'll find chat again. Here we go. We are available via email at support@loyalshops.com, and by phone at 949-614-5650. If you go to our website, we have two-way chat. So, and also inside of our software, we've got two-way chat, so you can reach us through that as well. So there's a couple different ways to reach out. Happy to talk about your specific challenge you got. So just, give me a call tomorrow, the next day, and we can talk a little bit further, or drop me a chat, or send me an email with any additional questions you've got as well. Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, I'll let you get going with your night, and I truly appreciate all the time.
I just wanted to say thank you. We wouldn't be here without Consign Pro and LoyalShops. We've been doing live since the pandemic, and we wouldn't be here. We have so much fun with them, and we have so many new customers, and it's just been wonderful. And we've got great support from you and from Brian and the whole staff. I couldn't say more. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
Couldn't ask for better. Okay. Yeah, and yes, Teresa, we're going to share. I'll share the link of the sale to Brian, and he'll be able to share it in the user group as well as through. I think he's going to send an email out tomorrow as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank
Greatly
you.
appreciate your time. All right. Take care.